I find that some of the most compelling parts of Ninjago seasons are the villains, and over the course of its 15-year run, there have been some pretty great villains added to the roster of the show. Now, while most villains in the show are great due to their intricate backstories or their character in general, there are some bad villains. Bad in the sense that they're just not entertaining to watch. For example, the Time Twins. While their backstory is pretty good and the lore that they carry is pretty important, I have no motivation to care for them or their goal for the entire season. But maybe that's just because I don't like Season 7. I think when you're writing a season for the show, you want to make your villain interesting. You want to make your villain compelling so that the audience can stay interested in them. SOG did just that. While bringing back Garmadon was a good choice, I think that the main standout villain, at least for the first season of the trilogy, was Harumi. Harumi in Sons of Garmadon is hands down one of the best characters in the season, and her progression during the first 2 seasons of the trilogy is what makes her death at the end of Hunted all the more satisfying. So years later, when Ninjago Crystalized released, a lot of people were speculating who the villain would be. And while it wasn't a big surprise that the Overlord was the main villain, I think it shocked a lot of people when it was revealed that Harumi was in the season. And while this choice was exciting at the time, it turned out that this one decision was one of the biggest flaws in Crystalized, and it made Harumi go from one of the best villains that the show has ever seen to a complete and utter disaster. The first episode of Part 2, A Sinister Shadow, is our introduction to how Harumi's back. As the episode opens up, we learn that Harumi was actually dead and did die from the building collapsing on her. We cut to her basically in purgatory. She's like floating about. The Overlord comes to her and says that he's been watching her for some time and decides to recruit her. We learn that Harumi is indeed the Benchtone buyer, and she's been here for a while. She was there when the ninja were in Shintaro, and she was also there when the ninja was stopping the trucks of Benchtone in Seabound. She's been here all along, and her initial introduction to the season in A Sinister Shadow is pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. She has the same sarcastic and playful attitude that she had in the Oni trilogy, but after this episode, Harumi's character just goes downhill. First of all, Harumi in the season basically does nothing. She's basically a servant to the Overlord, doing what he wishes her to do, a role that feels like a demotion. In Sons of Garmadon, she orchestrated everything. She manipulated the ninja, resurrected Garmadon, and she formed the SOG. In Crystalized, she mostly follows orders. It makes her character feel less important than it should. You brought back Harumi, why not do stuff with her? Make her compelling like you did in the Oni trilogy. Make her actually have a role in the season. Everything Harumi does in the season could have been done by any other character in the show. There's nothing that makes Harumi unique in this season because the work that she does isn't anything that's hard to do. Anyone in the Crystal Council could have done what Harumi did. She isn't special. This honestly just feels like fan service. They wanted everyone excited for Harumi's return, but they didn't have anything planned for the actual return. When you bring back a character, especially one that's beloved by most fans of the show, you gotta make it good. That's why Garmadon's resurrection was received so positively. You brought him back and you knew what you were gonna do with him. You had a story with him and it all paid off because that's the best version of Garmadon that we've seen in the entire show. Even now, you brought back Moro and you did so good. People loved Moro in Dragon's Rising Season 3, so much so that they want him back. How do you fail at bringing back Harumi? As the season goes on, Harumi gets no better, especially with Lloyd, but I'll talk about that later. But the main thing I want to talk about right now is at the end of the season. During the final fight, the Overlord reveals that he's the one who possessed the Great Devourer, which bit Garmadon, and also killed Harumi's parents back in Season 1. Now to us, we probably all knew or could have guessed that it had something to do with the Overlord. But to Harumi, how would she know that? And the main problem isn't that the Overlord possessed the Great Devourer, it's that Harumi is allied with the person who unleashed it, Pythor. So her reaction is fine, but like, shouldn't she have known Pythor was the reason that the Great Devourer killed her parents? Like, it's not the Overlord's fault that Pythor decided one day that he was gonna unleash this big-ass snake. Yes, she's serving the person who made the Devourer evil, but she also recruited the person who resurrected it in the first place. Shouldn't she be mad at Pythor too? Her actions after this also don't make sense because she switches sides, and there's no arc that goes along with it. If you're trying to redeem her, one, you failed, and second, you can't. Usually when you redeem a character, it works because the character faces their past and makes amends. Harumi skips all that. Do they think making her go against the villain for like 15 seconds will redeem her? No, of course not. Harumi hasn't gone through anything in this season to make her realize her actions were wrong. She doesn't have any redeeming qualities to her because everything that she's done to this point in the show isn't redeemable. You're telling me you really want to redeem someone who caused the death of probably hundreds of Ninjago City citizens? You want to redeem someone who caused the most trauma ever to your main protagonist of the show? What are we doing? Why would you ever think this scene would make us root for Harumi? If anything, it makes me root against her. Let's get into the big part why Harumi fails the season. Her and Lloyd. Like I said earlier, Harumi is one of the best characters in SOG, and one of the best dynamics we got in that season was her and Lloyd's relationship. The whole point of their relationship was that it was built on a lie. Harumi manipulated Lloyd and made him fall in love with her so that she could get closer to what she wanted. She never had feelings for him in the first place. Why would she? She hates him. She stated that clearly many times. She even says it in the show, and that's what made Harumi so good. She's so dedicated, so egotistical and selfish that she doesn't care about anybody but herself. And what Crystalized does throws that all out the window. They constantly switch between if Harumi hates Lloyd or if she likes him, which makes no sense because we've already gone over why it doesn't make sense. The Overlord says that Harumi has feelings for Lloyd, and I don't know what to believe now because we've already learned that Harumi doesn't like Lloyd because she said it directly to him in season 8. There's this one scene, which is a pretty important scene because it's the whole reason Lloyd and Harumi are in the jungle together. Lloyd is about to escape from the Crystal Council, and right before he does, Harumi tries to reason with him, tries to get him to join them, which I don't get why she would do that because she hates him, and Lloyd's like, no, I never do that, do you think I'm crazy? And right when he's about to jump and escape, he takes Harumi with him for no reason at all. It makes no sense. It's honestly just pure stupidity. You had a clear escape. Why didn't you take it? And the jungle scene just pays homage to season 8's jungle scene. Again, this is just fan service. It doesn't mean anything to anyone, and Harumi and Lloyd are just going back and forth between each other, and it's honestly just annoying. It's like they didn't even try to make it good. And like in the first episode of part 2, Harumi's upset that Lloyd didn't come searching for her, and we know that he did because it shows us in the episode. But like, why does she care? It's like she expects him to care for her when she doesn't care for him, and it makes no sense. And it's like Lloyd's not even upset or angry for what Harumi has done to him. One second he's being nice to her, and the other he just hates her. It's so inconsistent, but hands down, the funniest part of it all is at the end of the season. So, for context. So, after the Overlord's defeated, the 4 original ninja reunite with Lloyd, and they see Harumi. And Lloyd has the audacity to say,
"It's okay. She's with us."
Like, what? What do you mean she's with us? No, she's not. You're telling me Lloyd has forgiven the one person who has given him the most trauma, who physically, verbally, emotionally, and mentally abused him? He forgave her just like that? Like, you have to be joking. I'm telling you, this one scene has made me question what the writers were thinking when writing this scene. Even the ninja look at Lloyd like he's crazy. I do the same. And at the end of the little reunion, Lloyd goes over and talks to Harumi. Like, he goes over and acts like he's catching up on the years they've been separated. Oh, what have you been doing during all this time? Well, you know, I was dead and then got resurrected. Like, it makes no sense. But wait, it gets better though. During the final 20 seconds of the season, when the ninja are rebuilding the monastery, everyone's helping out, and it's a happy little scene. And then you cut to Harumi walking in the monastery that she blew up. She's the reason that they're rebuilding it in the first place. They welcome her in just like that. Like, come on, what is this? She's walking next to the police commissioner, but I'm not convinced that she's going under any type of community service. And even if she is, why is it community service? She should be in Cryptarium prison for the rest of her life after everything she did not only in this season, but in SOG and Hunted. But no, I guess we're excusing all her crimes because she's with us now.
It's okay. She's with us.
If you were trying to redeem her, you failed. I don't know what happened here, but it genuinely makes me upset because you took one of the best villains that we've ever gotten, and I'd go even as far as saying one of the best characters, and you completely butchered and ruined her, which is so disappointing to say because I'll admit I was excited for Harumi in this season. I wanted to see how she would interact with Lloyd and all the other ninja for that matter. It disappoints me because we could have gotten some great moments, but they focused way too much on the Harumi stuff and just made her not important to the overall goal of the season. If you focused on her actually being a good character instead of just relying on fan service half the time, Harumi could have been so much better. In fact, she could have made this season a bit more watchable. But that's it for me today. Let me know your thoughts about Harumi down below in the comments. That's your place to discuss. And while you're at it, feel free to leave a like. That'd be greatly appreciated, and subscribe if you're new, but you don't have to if you don't want to. We recently hit 100 subscribers on the channel, so thank you so much. I appreciate all your guys' support. It means everything to me that you all enjoy the content that I make, so thank you. I truly mean that. And as always, thanks again for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.